You're listening to the Black Eagles podcast with Sinan and Kan Bayazit.
Ahmet Dursun Sergen aldı. Sergen Bülent yan yana. Sergen Bülent. Sergen. Yanında Tümer var. Tümer'e doğru aksiyonlar gitti. Tümer topu aldı. Sergen aldı. Gol! Gol! Gol! Sergen attı. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi.
İbrahim'in pası. Zuma. Şimdi Ahmet. İkinci gole gidiyor Beşiktaş. Ahmet.
Okay, welcome back everybody. Episode 77 of Beşiktaş International's The Black Eagles podcast. I am your host, Sinan Schwarting, live from a hot and rainy New York City. Should you hear any thunder in the background, I am recording live in the middle of a torrential, almost like monsoon-like downpour. Don't be alarmed by the thunder. I'm okay. With me today, and I think it's fitting given that this is episode 77, the double sevens, is Evran Akman, everyone! How you doing, sir?
I'm alright, enjoying this rain.
How you doing about double sevens? So you're here for the big 7 episodes. Your boy...
I can talk about Quaresma for 20 minutes.
You can talk about forever. Well, didn't he even rock number 77 at one point? Like,
for Inter Milan, yeah. When he joined Figo, was still there.
I mean, I knew I could rely on you for that info.
Yeah, for very useful information. I got you.
Such as that. So yeah, I mean, let's just cut right into it. Speaking of Quaresma, he's had a fairly nice summer so far. I'm sure you're eager to mention some of his exploits so far.
I think we can get into it when we talk about the preseason games, but he had a decent impact over 90 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. In both matches, in fact, right? So
yeah, we played 2 minutes.
Yeah, today's episode is we're keeping you all up to date. We're doing a little apologetic error correction. We got a number of topics on the list today, but we're going to try to keep it short, keep it concise. Of course, we have a big episode coming at the end of the week. Khan's already advertised for it. He's interviewing a mystery guest regarding Tyler Boys and fill you in regarding everything on the guy's background, footballing wise, personally. It should be very informative. It's a great guest. I don't want to spoil it yet. I think Khan's got some sort of thing planned for that even. But so today we're going to talk about some of the matches that have already taken place. And of course, that no one has been able to see, at least properly. We're going to talk a little bit about matches going forward. We've got some fun friendlies coming up that will be visible, at least in theory, we hope. And of course, we're going to have a little news, RE transfers and whatnot. Nothing good, unfortunately. But yeah, let's cut to it. Evran, talk us through our first friendly of the summer, or at least the first official one, where we played against Pendikspor.
Yeah, so this game was not streamed anywhere. It was, couldn't really watch it, but we did see the highlights.
Well, actually, I beg to differ here, but in fact, it was streamed somewhere. It was just, unfortunately, a horror show trying to follow it.
Oh, was it also on someone's phone?
Yeah, someone put it up on their phone.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I
guess. So we did get to see the goals that we scored. We won 2-1. Nothing crazy first half. It was a Guven Yalchin header.
Yep.
Off a Ricardo Quaresma cross. Nothing crazy. I'll give you the quick play-by-play. The cross was like a pass out wide to Quaresma under his foot. And he did actually a left-footed cross, clipped to the middle of the box. Guven got a nice header. And then after that, the whole team changed, which was like the strongest team in the first half. And then second half, the young guys came on. They conceded within 2 minutes. And then the 82nd minute, Orkan Çınar had like a cross shot kind of thing that he went through like 4 or 5 bodies. Goalie misjudged it and it creeped into the bottom corner. That was game. against the mighty Pendixspor.
Yeah. Not a very convincing victory against an opposition that you'd hardly call world beaters, or even like, I don't know, a lot less than world beaters. But a win nonetheless, and it's always good to see Guven Yalcin get on the scorecard. The young guy, we're all hoping, I think, settles in as a solid backup to Burak Yilmaz this season. And he'll have a lot riding on him in that role. Although, we'll talk about this with the next match, Umut Nayir and Ozan Akgün are also going to be nipping at his heels for playing time. But yeah, so 2-1 against Pendixspor in the first friendly. Of course, the formations were fairly, I think, clear as far as who was able to play. It was pretty much the best players available for the first half, and then the second half was just like almost an amateur team. Right? Is that an accurate description?
I wouldn't say amateur; they're all professional players.
Oh, pardon, that's right.
Yeah, well, it was like U21 players. And then subs, basically. So
yeah. Maybe I'm being harsh. Yeah, amateur team.
Umut Nayir is not an amateur.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
All those Necip.
All due respect. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I guess I meant more like B side. But yeah.
B side.
All in all, not much to speak of, if we're going to be honest. The second match was far more eventful, at the very least. Gives us a lot more talking points. Beşiktaş was playing against Kocaelispor this time, a side who many will recognize for having a pretty deep history in Turkish football. They've been in the Super League before, although not in some time, and they've fallen pretty far as far as I know. But Kocaelispor, tell us about that one, Evran.
Yeah, so it was the same as last game. Same starting lineups, or not the same starting lineup this time. Rocco came in, but basically the stronger 11 in the first half, and we actually went down in the 5th minute. That one was, I think we saw live because there was some dude at the corner flag videotaping on his phone. That one we could kind of see, and then after that, he got kicked out and had to go behind the fence, and it wasn't worth watching at all. But Quaresma,
it was hardly worth watching
before
he
that.
got kicked.
But so 23rd minute, Quaresma equalized. Nice shot from the side of the box, curled in the top corner. 33rd minute, it was Laic whipped in a really nice corner. Rocco makes it 2-1 halftime, and of course, same thing as last game. We switched the whole team. All the subs came in. Tyler Boyd made his debut, and then we managed to put it in another 5 goals. One from Muhayyer Oktay's first goal for Beşiktaş. First senior goal, actually, technically. He was the only ever scored in youth levels for the national team in Dusseldorf. And then Nayir scored twice, and Ozan Akgün scored twice. And Boyd did pick up a nice assist.
Yeah, Boyd looked solid. He was playing, I think he was playing against Kocaelispor's backups even. So, yeah,
he definitely looked way too good.
Right?
Like in the highlights, he was just kind of breezing past people.
Like spin moves around guys. Like, damn, who is this guy? And then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, he's playing against Kocaelispor B team. And it showed. But I will say that I actually thought it was a very wise move on the part of, I'm assuming, Abdullah Avci to sort of hold off on putting him in until the second half and have his very first appearance with the squad be against theoretically much weaker opposition. And that's smart because I think
not so theoretically, very very clearly.
Pretty clearly, yeah. But I think it's smart to get him off on the right foot, give him all that confidence going forward. He certainly looked leagues ahead of even guys on our team. To be honest, he was a spark plug all around. So yeah, that was a good move and a nice win. We can take heart from the fact that guys like Umut Nayir and the guy who just got promoted up from the youth academy, Akgün, Ozan Akgün, that they could each score a brace.
Umut's goals especially were quite nice. Ozan's were more poacher goals, a header, a tap.
Yeah. That's true. Umut had a nice little flick. Yeah, he actually showed quite a bit.
They are a 4th division team, so.
Yeah, they're a 4th division team, and it was their B team that he largely did that against. But Guven Yalchin did not really show much. In fact, the whole first unit did not really show too much. They only won the half 2-1. So that's not something to really write home about.
Yeah, it was hard to see in the highlights, but it was largely just Quaresma and Laic in the highlights, but it's a little different when you actually watch the game. I don't think Guven touched the ball in the highlights.
Yeah, there was not a whole lot of fluidity, and you'd expect that from the second friendly of the season. You'd like to say because there's all these new guys adjusting to each other's style of play, yada yada. But of course, that is not really the case. We really only got the one addition so far.
It is a new system theoretically.
It is a new system, although the formation
is
was
the same.
Yeah. but anyway, no. Let's just not be too negative because it's the preseason. It's the summer. It's early in the summer at that. We don't have any Europa League qualifiers that we need to be stressing about. So we can afford to come out of the gate slowly as long as we pick up some steam, obviously.
Yeah, preseason not necessarily means nothing, but it's not like you've seen players like, I remember Aros Ozbil's was killing it in preseason, and then we never saw anything from him again. But at the same time, I remember when Fabri came in, his preseason was excellent, and we saw him then go on to become, thank God, our starting keeper over Tolga. So whatever happens, it's kind of just like, don't look too far into it, but still there. Yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, and so the fallout from these first two matches is that we already have a short list, supposedly, and of course this is by and large rumors, but there's a short list of guys that are already kind of in the doghouse with Abdullah Avci, who he doesn't really see fitting with the squad.
I think one of those players, I saw that someone else said that he liked him. I think he said Rocco, he liked him.
Well, so yeah, and so the reports are that Utku Yuvakuran, our young keeper, Enzo Rocco, Okan Chinar, Ozan Aydoğan, who I don't even know if we've seen much of, Jermaine Lend, Muhayir Oktay, and Nicolas Isimak-Mirin are all supposedly in the doghouse. Now, huge caveat, giant asterisk, this is photo match, I've just discovered. So there's probably like a 10% kernel of truth in there. And in fact,
10% is probably too high.
Maybe even, yeah. And in fact, God, I wish I had seen that before I even said this. Let that be a lesson to everyone. Check your sources. But yeah, I don't think there's much truth to that because I can think of 3 guys on that list that we've actually heard contrary reports from more reliable sources. Early in
I would
the
believe
summer,
Ozan Aydoğan though, because he hasn't even
that would
played.
make sense. Yeah,
he hasn't even played in either of the friendlies, so I don't know if he's hurt or something. But.
And that's where like a lot of other guys have played that we haven't even heard of. So that's not like that. That would be the most realistic, certainly. But like we heard in the beginning of the summer that Abdul Afshi was actually fairly fond of Nicolas Isimat-Mirin. So that strikes me as I don't know about that. Enzo Rocco has done nothing but actually positive so far in the summer. So I don't see how that would apply. Utku has supposedly been receiving praise in the, I don't know. I saw Beşiktaş posted a nice save of his in training camp. So usually a club doesn't do that for a guy who's on the outs. I don't know. I don't think there's much truth to that. I would be curious to know, however, what is shaking out. So yeah, so far there's not much to be gleaned as far as who his favorite option is at the back. Despite the rumors that maybe he liked Isimat-Mirin previously. The first match he played Isimat-Mirin in the first half with the starters. The second match against Kocaeli he played Enzo Rocco, but Isimat-Mirin supposedly was subbed in the second half. So I don't know. I don't know what we can say as far as who he prefers between those two. What we can say, however, is that the team is on the market for another central back. So it doesn't seem like either one of them is preferred enough to be trusted as the starter. Now we have some news. And so this is our formal retraction. In the last episode, if you could bear with our technical issues and stand to deal with the sound issues we had. We reported that Vitor Hugo was on his way to Beşiktaş.
Just about.
And we did say it wasn't confirmed officially. It was a rumor, but we did vouch for him as being trustworthy, and I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves for sure. Anyway, news flash: Vitor Hugo is not coming to Beşiktaş, and this is not like a maybe anymore.
Yeah.
There's no speculation. He has gotten on an airplane and flown his dumbass to Brazil to sign with Palmeiras.
His old team,
Evran,
yeah.
let me break it down. So, break it down. Tell us what happened from where we left off in the last episode, where it seemed like he had signed up for our project, to where we are now, where he's supposedly on an airplane as we record, going to Brazil.
Yeah, it seemed like we were pretty close to getting him on a loan with an option to buy, and then maybe not last minute, but Palmeiras came in and was like, we'll just buy him. So it looks like he'll go with a permanent fee to Palmeiras, and Brazilian teams tend to have some money, surprisingly, a decent amount.
I don't know why.
I've seen them pay 15, 20 million fees within the past, 5 years. Not consistently, but more often than Turkish teams have. So it would make sense that they could pay outright to rebuy him for $4 or $5 million, which instead of having a loan option, obviously Fiorentina just said, okay, we're gonna let him go there, and he gets to go home. So I'm sure he has no problems with that. I mean, maybe he would have preferred Turkey, but
yeah, I think
maybe not.
I heard it reported that they were paying $5.5 million outright. So that's nothing to laugh at. I doubt we can actually really afford that much.
Yeah, I think we were offering a $4.5 million buyout. So obviously they take the money up front,
and that's next year. Plus, I'm sure there was a fee for this year, but maybe I think it was a $1 million fee, $1 million.
Yeah, it wasn't
dollar, whatever, euro, whatever they're operating in. But that's not happening. We got hijacked. It happens. It happens in football until that contract is signed. And I've said this a million times. Until you see them sitting with your team's owner with the shirt on, with the pen, and they're smiling, that's when you know it's happening. Before then, never take anything for granted. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
But so yes, we're back on the market. The last I've heard is that we're still looking at Timothée Kolodziejczak. Do you want to correct my pronunciation on that?
I'm gonna let you rock with that. I think if I had to guess, maybe Kolodziejczak. I don't know, Kolodziejczak.
Kolodziejczak.
It's a difficult name. There's a lot of Z's and consonants in there.
There's some stuff happening there for sure. There's also rumors that we're looking at Mangala from Man City. I would imagine that's more of a loan. Was there another guy we were looking at as well?
Yeah, that's not the most concrete rumor. I think Kolodziejczak is the most recent that has come back up since Vitor Hugo's gone negative. But
and we have a tendency of kind of not letting rumors die. When you hear a guy is rumored to come, they'll pop back up a few months later, whatever it is. So I mean, it fits the pattern that Kolodziejczak. Boy, we're gonna have fun pronouncing this guy's name all year if he signs. But
I'm sure we'll learn.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you know what? I've learned names like Porzingis. I'm becoming worldly through sports. So this is all good in the long run for everyone. We're all expanding our horizons here. But yeah, so that probably has the most credence. I think that we're gonna go for him. I'm forgetting. Was there another guy? There was a third guy we were being rumored to.
It was. I remember there was Murato who said Vermaelen, but that never.
Walace.
I never heard that again.
Wallace.
I don't know about that one.
Whatever. I don't. These were fairly tenuous rumors as they were. I think the one that we can probably lean on a little bit is Timothée Kolodziejczak.
Yeah.
But I mean, you never know. There was also the guy from Roma that we were just being.
Juan Jesus. Yeah, but I think he
Juan Jesus.
He kind of made fun of us. Said are you joking or something like that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Well, so he can get. I have to pull out the beeps on myself.
Yeah.
Man, I'm giving myself work to do.
He posted something on his Instagram story. It was like, nah,
Well,
with a throw up emoji.
what a sweetheart. So yeah, maybe that guy can screw himself. So yeah, stay tuned. Obviously, there's gonna be some news on that front. It's obvious that Abdullah has required, or I should say, requested another central defender, and that means also that we're likely to see one of, if not both, of Issy Marin and Rocco get sold. I would imagine probably just one of them, and the other one stays as the third option. And I think they're probably kind of competing for that right throughout this summer, which would also explain the alternating, pairing between them. Maybe one of them really impresses Abdullah and that's it. We're done on the market. I doubt that's true. I honestly wouldn't mind it because I think it's far more important that we invest in other parts of the field, specifically in a left back. If we could spend like 5.5 instead of spending like 2.5 on a left back and 3 on a central defender.
If we even have that,
we could spend 5.5. Yeah, I mean whatever, but just spitballing here. But if we could instead pool that together and spend 5.5 or whatever on a left back that was like a little bit better or like a little bit younger, maybe more in the 26, 27 year range that fits with the kind of core age group of Ljajic and Karius. I think that's the age that we're building this core around. That could be ultra competitive in, let's say, like 2 years, theoretically.
1 year.
Right? When Ljajic is 29 and Karius is 27. And so if we can kind of add to that, because like Burak Yilmaz, for example, he's not going to fit that window probably. So like Guven Yalçın hopefully grows into that role over the next 2 years. That's why I say 2, because certain parts need to actually develop. We can't rely on them being there. Ozan, right? He's 25. He would be 26, 27. Like, if he can regain that form of his from a couple of years ago, we got a real good core that's coming of age, like really falling into their prime at the right time together. So, I think it would be nice if we could keep developing around that logic and not get 31-year-olds, the 30 pluses that we've been kind of getting of late, with the exception, I guess, of last year. I hope last year is the trend rather than the anomaly. But yeah, is there any other news that we should really address? Oh, Kerim Alici.
Yeah, that's all I was just gonna say.
Tell us about this guy.
Nothing official.
Yeah, it's another, I think, Murat Özen special. So last week I would have been all about that, but having already had to retract one of them. Tell us about this kid, though. What do we know? So he's an Altinodu product, right? That's always good.
Yeah, he's 22-year-old right back. He has family members that are you may have heard of. Barış Alıcı, who plays for Fenerbahçe, also was an Altinodu product. That's his brother, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that before I start to. Yeah, it's actually his twin brother.
Nice. So
it's not just brother, twin brother. So we could be cool. We have 2 twins, one for Fener, one for Beşiktaş. Should be pretty unique, but
interesting story.
So yeah, I haven't watched much of him, but he's supposedly pretty good. His brother's pretty good. Most Altinodu products that come up to anywhere in the first divisions usually do pretty good, either Europe or here. So I think there's reason to be excited. He's 12, 13 years younger than our current right back. So
yeah, well, and it's the perfect position for something like this. A kind of project who's young, because we do have
a year or two to learn.
I heard that the twins, I'll give a shout out to our resident Scottish twins, who are talking about Gökhan Gönül as their player of the year. And as kind of wild as that may sound, considering we had guys like Adem Ljajic and the like, he definitely did have a really good season when he played. He's getting there age-wise, and so that was a problem. But so this is where it's great to have a guy who's not inept. He's young and developing. It's a project, but maybe he can step in and play some matches and spell Gökhan Gönül, who's not getting any younger. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a good move. anyone from, as you said, if you can get a good guy from Altınordu who people are kind of keeping their eyes on, that's a good thing in general, considering the success they've had.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not really. I mean, I guess I didn't really watch a lot of Altınordu this year. And then, I have other things to do than watch every second division team in the country. But, I think if the transfer gets closer, I'll definitely do more research and give you guys my mini scouting report. But, for now, it's all decently reliable rumors. It's not even at the Hugo level yet. We haven't even heard numbers, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, would you agree that it's actually, I'm going to take what I said previously and like make it a hot take. I am happy that we're getting a prospect. I would rather we get a prospect than an older guy who would be competing with Gökhan Gönül. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I think Gökhan is our starting right back right now.
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see that he was unreliable last year.
He was no John
Or
Eric.
anything like that, yeah. He can defend.
Sorry, John Eric, but that's just how it is, man.
As long as he doesn't get injured, I don't see any reason to not play him. I think just his injury history is the only... Was injury history as he's gotten older, that is, which is just natural.
Yeah, and he's old. I mean, he's not young. But yeah, so good. So we're in agreement. The Black Eagles podcast, official hot take. We are happy to be going for a prospect on the right flank, but we need a starter on the left flank. So that's another issue.
Yes.
I think we can both agree there too. 2 for 2. All right. Moving on as far as news items go, and there's not a lot. One last note I should make is that it's Tutto Mercato Web that's reporting that Vitor Hugo is flying to Brazil. So it's not Turkish press.
Yeah, he reportedly said something out as he was going to the taxi, is what they reported. So I'm assuming they're not making up some fabrication like Photo Match or Fanatic would, saying we talked to him when they were sitting on their couch. But
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully the Italian media is more respectable.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Football press tends to be not the most reliable thing conceptually at all. But anyway,
yeah.
That's pretty much it for transfer news. I'm glad we can formally apologize for whatever. Other news, and I guess this is actually pretty big news. So the days of not being able to watch Beşiktaş friendlies or having to watch those crappy sideline feeds are over. Starting from here on out, Beşiktaş friendly matches will be aired by D-Smart. Now, buyer beware. It's not going to be available for free on the internet. There's no like Schürrle option where you can just click and see what's going on with their channel for free. They offer packages and stuff. So streamer's gonna stream. Find your links. Do what you gotta
Periscope and YouTube is what I would recommend if you don't want to get a virus. Or you can just start clicking links and hope for the best. But I'm more of a Periscope kind of guy. It's free app.
So yeah,
safe.
or invest in some really solid virus protection. But anyway. But so yeah, the good news is that they're gonna be available somehow. There's in some universe you should be able to find a means of seeing them.
Turkish people are very reliable when it comes to those Periscope streams. If you look up any game from any league, it seems to be a Turkish guy showing it. So. And
so it's like the Jurassic Park. Life finds a way.
Unless you want to pay for Smart, but yeah, for a preseason game, that's kind of absurd.
But so yeah, that's it. I think that's it, right? Like we don't have any news to report.
Yeah, Mehmet Özcan's still the same. Nothing changed as far as I know.
Yeah, last week we talked about Vitor Hugo, Mehmet Özcan, of course Tyler Boyd, who has now appeared, so we don't have to fear losing him. And who was the fourth?
Who's the fourth?
Mert Yilmaz.
Oh yeah, but we haven't heard anything about him. So
Mert Yildiz,
I guess we can say the shirt numbers were kind of not revealed, but based on what they won in preseason,
Tyler Boyd is number 11.
We saw Umut Nayir took Babel's number 8, and Oğuzhan Akgün took Gökhan Ter's 55. But
That's right. Yeah. That's
other
good
than that,
info.
I mean, I guess they weren't officially announced, and we don't know how many of those guys will stay.
I already
between
sent
weekends.
out my order for shirts, so I do not want Tyler Boyd number 11. I am a little upset by the inability of the club to announce that.
Transfers
Like
number.
they waited like 4 days till after they released the shirts to give the number of this guy. It's like, come on, you couldn't consider your fans a little there. But anyway, yeah, he is number 11. That's a
You
good number.
replace his Pectamex number.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
at least we have a number 11 who's actually going to be playing.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost a waste of the number to have a
Scourge
guy.
of my life for several years.
So
Finally
deep
got
in
rid
the
of this
bench.
man.
Oof, yeah. I mean,
Super
I was
boosty.
not a Pectegol fan myself either.
Pectamex, Goldemic. Let's get it.
Now, before we conclude this episode, there is a little bit of lighthearted fun we get to have. The fans, our loyal fans and listeners, are interacting with us as they do on Twitter. We've got at Hitman683, a frequent caller, longtime listener. He's got a few questions for us to address. So one, talk about realistic dream transfers. You go first.
Realistic dream transfers. Any player. No,
Somebody.
I'm joking. I guess left back would be any left back that's good.
Who you got? Who's
Doesn't
like the
matter.
one you wish?
I mean, I thought Trauco, who hasn't really come back up from those initial rumors, he would have been a pretty good signing.
Yeah, Peru is coming off a very good Copa America.
Copa, yeah. But I'm not it's hard to think of left backs on the spot. But
Yeah, I mean that's not the position.
I think
one knows.
Sabali would have been. I like him a lot, but
I
he would
like
cost
Sabali.
probably at least 6 or 7 million. So that's
So that's where if you say,
That-
you know what, fine, we're not going to invest in a left midfielder or a central defender. We're going to put that all, maybe then you could pull something like that. But that's a lot of people would be upset because they want those positions filled. I know you would love to see Quaresma given that left mid slot.
I think he deserves it. Based on what we're seeing right now. But
yeah, cough. So yeah, that's good. My realistic dream transfer, since we've already covered left back, I want Shinji Kagawa back, man. Like, I don't think we got to capitalize on having a player of his renown and ability by just having him for those 6 months. I think there are a lot of shirts to be sold. There's a lot of business to be done in Japan. It really is a burgeoning football economy. And if we could consolidate a Japanese following for a club like Beşiktaş, which, it's like a little money that goes a long way if we could succeed there. So I'd love to see that. Obviously, like the Schürrle stuff. I don't really know where he'd fit, what we'd need him for, but that would be fun, I guess. What are your thoughts on
Schürrle.
Andre Schürrle?
I don't think.
Surely you
Right.
want Schürrle.
Schürrle, I don't think it'd be realistic. I mean, maybe based on his loan fee last year wasn't that big, but assuming he's got a salary on him, and I feel like that's a real Fenerbahce move.
That has been, but they already got Cruz. They've already maxed out on German attacking
Expensive
players.
players. Yeah. I mean, I would have liked, if I had to pick between an older left mid, I remember hearing Konoplyanka once or twice. I'd prefer him, but I mean, I don't know if either of those are really what we should be doing right now as a club. with our financial.
I agree. I think the benefit of Kagawa would be, of course, he'd come very cheap. In fact, I think Dortmund would put up very little resistance in letting him go. It'd probably
I think I have my list of left mids that I wanted. Brahimi, who was not financially realistic, he went to Qatar. I wanted Tyler Boyd. Fun fact, I said I wanted him.
we got him.
And then the other players I listed for wingers is Basago, who plays in China, 23, 24. And I wanted Shiapakase, who is a young talent on Atletico Madrid on loan at Parma. And then Emre Mor, which is probably a hot
come
take.
on.
That's probably a hot take, but I thought he's worth taking a shot on. So that was my list for
That's
May.
like, you're young enough where you can get away with it. That's like a Turkey fanboy move a little. Like you're hanging on to hope there. But anyway, yeah, that's a fun little good question, Hitman. He said maybe about the other Beşiktaş clubs, kits. Well, actually, Hitman, we talked about them last week. So I'm sorry, man. You got to pay attention, buddy. Yasin. That was also like after sound quality went down, so fair enough if you didn't want to hear that. Just, again, stay tuned. We're going to do a full kit review with Barış Izgordu. And I'll ask him that question, Hitman. I'll ask him what he thinks about other clubs, too. Just, because so we can make fun of Fener's shirts this year. That was a debacle. But anyway, besides that, he says possible tactical changes you could observe in those friendlies. Well, those friendlies were hard to observe. I definitely hope that going forward, we will be able to watch those matches, and we will be able to make more concrete observations specifically regarding that. I think that's got to be the real question for people who are interested in the game on a slightly higher level. Yeah, what kind of tactics are we going to see employed by Abdullah Avci, and like how soon is he going to do it? Is he doing something gradual, or is he going all in right now?
Only thing I kind of noticed in the highlights, because they were very limited, it seemed like Quaresma was more involved in link-up play, and it was less hope for the best cross. It was a little more,
Interesting.
A little more like what we used to get in 15-16 with some link-up play, but I can't really...
It's too soon.
It could just be he was doing that, and then when we actually did get a couple of good chances, it's because he did link up. But we'll see when we actually watch a game for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. As far as the games scheduled, he asked about as well. We do have some good games scheduled. We talked about them already last week a little bit, but there's no harm in rehashing, I suppose. It's coming. So we have a few days. We have an entire week, in fact, just about, till our next match. But the next match is coming on Saturday, July 27th. We're playing A-Bar, like I said. D-Smart's going to be airing it. It's on at 11 a.m. here on the east coast of the United States of America, which means, I believe, 5 p.m. in Central Europe, Cannes time, and maybe 6 or 7 in Turkey. You'll check your local listings, as always.
In fact, Ibar beat Kayserispor yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
5-2.
They did.
So
they're intentionally coming up against Turkish sides. I don't know what the story is there, but they're gonna face their second Turkish side in us. But yeah, so that's Saturday. Again, the 27th, 11 a.m. for us gringos. The next match. So although we have to wait a bunch for these games to really kick off, there must be a training camp somewhere, because then they really start to come in. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, it's in Austria.
The upcoming match is going to be against Apollon Larissa. Evran, you kindly already told me this is a second division Greek side. But yeah, so that's Monday, July 29th. That's at noon. So that's going to be, I think, 6 p.m. for you Euros, 7 or 8 for Turks. But yeah, so that's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully we'll see some goals scored, because the team will be more, together. They've played a few matches, and they're playing against weak opposition again. The following match after that is going to be against Udinese on Friday, August 2nd at noon. Then we have Brescia on August 4th at 11 a.m. And then there's a little time after that. They must be returning to Turkey for the last friendly match, which will be against Panathinaikos, a well-known Greek side. That's August 10th, 1 p.m. for those of us on the East Coast. We do have a schedule now. We have our matches. So our first match of the season will be up against Sivasspor on the 18th. So there will be 8 days between our final friendly and our first Super League match.
By then, we should know our Europa League draws.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up pretty soon after there, too.
Third qualifying round is coming up.
Yeah. Sivas.
Second qualifying round.
First match day is Sivas on the road. The first big match of the season is going to be coming up against Beşiktaş here on September 22nd. Followed by the 29th, they're going to be playing Trabzon on the road. The big derby, October 27th, Beşiktaş will be hosting Galatasaray, which means Again, Galatasaray will be hosting us in the second half of the season. It's kind of an advantage, one might say. Fenerbahçe's, our first match is going to be in the Schürrle Saracoğlu on December 22nd. But so yeah, that's it for the first half of the season. We'll talk more about the schedule as the season comes into focus.
Yeah, when we get there.
Yeah, I don't need to go over all of them, but so those are the big first half of the season derbies. So yeah, the good news is, I guess, that we're going to be facing Trabzon and Fener at home in the second half of the season, so that could work to our advantage. Anyway, yeah, that's it for Hitman's question. Yasin. We do have one more question, Evran. This is the most serious question one could ask, perhaps. Özcan Oğur, one of our famed Scottish twins, who I've already mentioned, this is the second call out for them. Özcan asks, Evran, be serious for a minute, okay? He's asking, should Necip Uysal have a statue erected in his honor?
I mean, probably not.
Well, see, I was thinking, have you ever seen those clever little cups where they have in the bottom of the cup like a little cow or a little, there's like I think coffee cups, a mug, and in the bottom there's a cow. So as you drink, you get to the bottom, and at the bottom, boom, hey, there's the little animal that's been. Have you ever seen those?
No, because I haven't lived. But
you're not living it. You haven't seen mugs with little animals made into the bottom. Well, anyway, my point is that in Beşiktaş's stadiums, they could put little Necip statues in the toilet bowl. You could erect little ceramic statues that kind of emerge up out of the toilet. You could literally pee on it every time you need to go to the bathroom in the stadium. That was a thought. Or poop, perhaps. You could, number 2 on Necip. But so yes, there are some fun statue options I could imagine, but none of them would involve his statue being put in the front of the stadium.
yeah, no, maybe in the backyard of his house. That's
That's a little friendlier,
yeah.
kid friendly. Now, Evran, real quick, name 3 statues that should go up in front of the stadium.
Oh, I mean, I feel like we don't have any, so I feel like usually statues should be of like dead people.
Yeah.
So
To begin with, right?
yeah, I don't think or like well after they're gone. So if you would tell me maybe this generation players that could get a statue one day, maybe Tiba, Quaresma, maybe Ozan if he stays for another 5 years and they're all good.
And he plays well for
Yeah.
5 years.
It's kind of hard to think.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's like, as far as like Ljajic or Karius, like maybe in 10 years they're like super club legends that like
Who
have
knows?
won everything with us. They've won the Champions League with Beşiktaş.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, for now I think you'd have to go with the club legends who have passed. Guys who we've like named stadiums after and stuff like that, because we've got some pretty big names out there. Or guys like Süleyman Seba, who we just celebrated recently, his unfortunate passing. I'm maybe not the best as far as these things go, but yeah, there's some historical figures I think that probably would have to go first. And then as far as players from the past, there are definitely guys like Sergen Yalçın or Pascal Numa. I don't know if they get.
What was that front three? Had Feyyaz, Metin, and somebody else.
Who's the other guy? You got. I don't even have the excuse of you that you're young.
Yeah.
I do have the excuse of being old and having a bad memory, though. So, in my defense, that's probably what's happening here. But anyway, That's it. That's all we have to say. I don't think we need to go on much
Yeah.
further as far as that question goes. Najib does not get a statue. In all seriousness, I don't. Yeah. Right now, I have Quaresma and Atiba as guys who could theoretically get statues. If we did like a kind of row of statues out front where there was like 10 to sort of surround the entrance. That's more. But first, you got to give like Süleyman Seba and Ataturk's like second in command. That was a huge bet.
Her old stadium.
Yeah, but that's a guy who might get a statue. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, let's take it out. Evran, do you have anything to say going out? Like any notes to enlighten us with before we depart?
Quaresma's back. He's not leaving. He's staying. Like from that movie, Wolf of Wall Street. So
thanks for that.
I'm not going anywhere. So that's him. He's here to stay.
He's not going anywhere. It doesn't look like he is. There were rumors of MLS clubs coming out for him, particularly the LA Galaxy and the New York Red Bulls. So I will say that if I do have any preference as far as him, if he does leave, come to New York, man. And I'd love to wear I have multiple Quaresma shirts. My daughter has a Quaresma shirt. We'll rock him to the stadium. Beautiful little Red Bull arena in Harrison, New Jersey.
I'll jump on the field for him.
You probably like run out and streak or something crazy.
Not streak. This guy get that quick selfie.
Just jump out for the selfie. You'd be like the kid that he's like, no, it's okay, come, let's take a picture.
That'd be on my permanent record.
Yeah.
Never stop again.
You don't need that. You don't need that energy in your life. But anyway, that's it. See you guys later. Have fun this summer, but do so responsibly. We will be back, of course, this coming Friday, I think it is, at the end of the week. Khan's going to be back with his fancy Tyler Boyd episode. We'll be back to report on Friendlies. We do have some time till the next batch come in, but we will be back, and probably in a more informative way, since we'll actually be able to see these things. But until then, as always, go Beşiktaş! Well,
Day of my day off in the game, rain was too much to drink. So, pitch blackout. Yeah.
Beşiktaş International hopes you enjoyed this program.